survive it by hitting. But
hey everybody.
the trick to this whole thing is to avoid the traps. If you can keep from getting a trap, hitting a trap, you'll probably live through the first phase. That trap takes you out. You're done at that point. When you hit the trap, it launches you and you're done. You're a spectator. Well, you ain't even a spectator because you can't see because you're way down in the bottom of Nowheresville. So, avoid traps at all costs. The disease still takes effect. If you have the disease, you have to drop it off to the big ad. That's what kills the big ad in Heroic. We do not damage the big ad. The only person that does any damage or targets the big ad at all is Shadow. Everybody else is 100% DPS on the Lich King. After aggro is established, we just light the Lich King up. The whole first phase is nothing but raid awareness, making sure that you are not standing where a trap is spawning. When a trap goes to spawn, it's a little black circle on the ground, and within a second or two of it, me calling out who it is, you have to get away from them. So you almost have to be looking downward at where you're standing, so that if it's somebody that gets it that's in your group, that you can move in time. Just please don't get hung up in the trap. That's what's been tearing us up on this first phase. If we can get through the traps, we got this first phase knocked out. Okay, after the traps and the diseases, you drop your disease off, you get back in your group. Melee is going to stack on Star on the Lich King. And she's going to keep the Lich King far enough away so that Shadow has plenty of room to tank the ad. That way when we go to drop our disease off, we're not going to drop it off to a raid member. It automatically goes to the nearest person who has, when I dispel it off somebody. So if you don't make it all the way to Shadow before your time runs out and I take it off of you, then it's going to go to another raid member and they're going to be instantly killed. You have basically 7 seconds, 8 seconds actually, but I'm going to say 7 seconds to get it over to Shadow. If you don't get it over to him that time, it's insta-kill. It can't be healed through. It's automatic death. Once the timer ticks off on that disease, you die. Okay, here's the trick. If you have the disease, you do a ton of damage on the Lich King for the first few seconds, but make sure you are headed towards the ad that Shadow has. When you get to that ad, make sure you're behind the ad. The ad does a terrible forward cleave. If you do get in front of that ad, chances are you're going to die anyhow. So he's offset just like he is. He's in perfect position, offset on that side, so that if you're ranged or healer and you get the disease, you're just going to basically run right over here. He's going to have the ad where he's standing at. You're just going to run right over here across from him, and I'm going to cleanse it off of you, and then you're going to run back into position. If you're melee, same deal. You're going to stack on Star right in the middle of the big circle. You're going to run back to Shadow to behind the ad and let me dispel it off of you. Alright, we're going to go. That's just going to be rinse and repeat for the whole first phase. At the end of that phase, he does the Remorseless Winter. We're all already right over here, so what we figured is we're going to run right off this way. We're going to be right over here when he casts Remorseless Winter. That way you're not in harm's way. If you're standing in the middle when he does Remorseless Winter, you're auto kill. You have to get on the outside ring. And the tanks are going to take all the ads right here where I'm at, and you're going to tank them out right here. That way they're not facing the group. We need to be spread out back there on that little area. We need to be spread out. If you're close together, then they do a chain effect in Heroic, and the chain effect is terrible to heal through. Everybody has to stay above 90% or the ticks get worse on you, and they don't go off until you get healed above 90%. So keep that in mind. If you have the timer ticking on you and you don't see your health going up, then you need to use a light well to help us heal you, because with only 2 of us healing, we're not going to be able to heal you out of the ticks. You'll definitely have to use a light well to help us heal you. We're going to stay out there. Brother Paul and Addie are going to take care of the silver balls so they don't knock any of our ranged or any of our DPS off or our tanks off, the balls that are emanating from where the Lich King is in the middle. And we're going to just continue to do that until we get the ads down. As soon as the ads are down, he's going to throw his sword down on the ground. Remorseless Winter is going to go away, and we're going to stack on the Lich King. and burn the Lich King until the first ad spawns. When the Valkyrie comes in, we spread out, attack it as you're spreading out, and kill it. Get your DPS away from it. You got to be spread out because Defile comes right afterwards. We know what Defile is. It tore us up when we did this in the regular for the longest time until we got it figured out. If you get Defile and you are in the raid group, you will wipe the entire raid group. If I call out you have Defile on you, you have to get away from everybody. Don't go running, and just when it spawns on you, everybody get away from that person. If you have it, just stand still. We'll leap of faith you out of it once it spawns. The trick is if the more you move, the bigger the Defile gets, and if you run 10-15 yards, you're going to cover this entire platform. It's going to be a total wipe. So do not run if you get Defile on you. And we're going to continue through, rinse and repeat. Back on boss, add, Defile, back on boss, add, Defile, rinse and repeat until third phase. Third phase, I'll run back out to the outside. He's gonna cast portals where we all get pulled into. From what I understand, we all get pulled into the portal. We have an ad in there we have to burn down with a quickness, and then we pop back out of there and we're back on the boss again. And it's just rinse and repeat. Pulls us all inside the dark world. We beat up the boss that's in there, and he's fairly low health boss, so he'll go down real quick and then right back on the Lich King.
In Heroic it's different.
Yeah.
Inside that portal there is no boss, there's just a lot of ads and bombs. You have to stay away from the bombs and try to burn down all the little ghost ads in there.
Oh, okay.
Got a suggestion. On the balls during Remorseless Winter, I noticed we got 2 hunters in here today, and the hunters have a lot better range than I have on the balls. The addy usually burns them down before I can even get them in range of me, so if you could put the 2 hunters on the balls, it'd be a lot safer.
That's probably a good idea. Can we do that? Tree, you want to take care, or Shield, you want to take care of helping keep them silver balls down?
Yeah, man. I'll nuke whatever you tell me to nuke.
Alright, they emanate pretty much right from the middle, and they come running straight towards the raid group, and if one of them hits a raid member, it flings them off the side and they're dead. So
yeah, they still shoot the beam of light at whoever they target, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, I can help on those.
Anybody else have anything else they want to add to this? I will try to cleanse the disease this round. Hopefully I can get it from you before you die. I wasn't doing so good at that last night, but I'm going to try again. Anybody got any questions at all? I know that was a lot of information, and this fight is a lot more technical than the regular Lich King fight was, and everybody here knows that was a tough fight. Them stupid traps suck, so we gotta stay away from them traps. No matter what, we gotta avoid getting on them traps. I mean, even knowing that you're gonna be able to get bounced back on the stairs from your positioning, let's just try to avoid them altogether. The way we got it last night, we got to Remorseless Winter a few times. There was only 4 traps up, so, and like I said, they're only like 15 yards around. They're not gonna take up a whole ton of room, and there should be no reason we can't avoid them. Somebody has suggested hitting them so they go away and taking the bounce back, but I'd rather, at least for the first try or first couple tries, I'd like to just try to avoid touching them altogether. That way you don't have to worry about people getting bounced back, because that's loss of DPS too when you're getting flung through the air. Even if you survive it, that's a good 10 seconds if you're not able to DPS because you're flying. That's a good point, Star. This is going to be very heal intensive. There's only 2 healers, and one of us I have to dispel and heal. So if you can heal yourself at all in this, especially if you see the ticks on you, if you see that you're getting ticked out, then you're going to have to help us heal yourself, whatever you can do. And you have to stay above 90%, or else that tick don't go away and it just keeps ticking until you die. Even with 2 healers healing you full time, it won't be able to keep you up after it ticks on you for a few seconds. We're going to put light wells up. Please use the light wells. That's our 3rd healer. That's going to be our ace in the hole. Anybody else want to add anything or any questions, any suggestions? Everybody thinks that sounds like a pretty good plan?
I think that should work.
Yeah,
looks like we were doing it well the other night.
I think everybody needs to get over here where I'm at before we start.
Another good point Star had. Let's give her 5 full seconds. Where Brother Paul's at right now on the other side of this, we did that last night. That worked out pretty good. Everybody just get line of sight over here, and that way we don't have to worry about any DPS at all pulling aggro from her. Shadow will not target the Lich King at all for this entire fight. He's only going to target the big ad when it spawns, so we don't have an aggro issue there. But nobody's going to do any damage until she has a hold of the aggro of the Lich King. Then we're all going to run out, stand in front of the steps, and start bombing him. That'll give her plenty of time to get her first few moves to make sure aggro doesn't change. We don't want that Lich King come running back to us, no matter what.
Last night the melee was just standing behind Star when she pulled aggro. Can we still do that? Then we can just run up and go from there.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The trick is for the melee is to stay behind the Lich King on this. Don't get too close to Shadow with the ad. Be careful of that, because then you'll end up with a disease, and then Star will end up with the disease. So stay tight right on the back of the Lich King.
Sorry.
Alright, here we go. We're going to ready check. This ready checks for the pull.